Well, hello, welcome to today's video. So I am really excited for this video. I am going to be sharing my budget with you all. So I'm also pretty nervous because budget can kind of be taboo for some people, but I'm going to go ahead and be brave and share my budget with you all. I have already in a couple of other videos shared with you all my setup of this, and I did record it, so I may go ahead and insert a clip of me doing that. But the purpose of this video is really for me to share some numbers with you all and kind of tell you all how I set my budget up. So the first thing that I'm going to say is I get paid monthly. So that is the last business day of every month is when I get paid. So that means that I pay all of my bills up front that I can pay on the first of every month. And when I say can pay, I mean the ones that aren't automatic. And then throughout the rest of the month, I just let the automatic payments come through. And, you know, I sit down one time during the month and just lay everything out. And that is that. So in order for me to start my December budget, what I do is I look at my November. So I've already kind of pulled, let me put this page back here. So I pull my November, and what I do is I look at my debit envelopes from the previous month. So what I've spent, and this was my starting balance. Out of everything that I've spent at the end of the month, I still have $940.49 left over that I could spend for each of these categories, right? So what that means is I'm going to take this amount and I'm going to roll it over into next month's budget. So I don't roll it to the exact penny. What I'll do is I'll kind of look at my account. I have some fluff built into my account. The way it's set up is that every time I swipe my debit card for my checking account, $1 will be moved into my savings account. I don't include that in my budget at all. The way that I take that into account is that when I go to look at my debit envelopes and how much money I want to carry over, I will look at my ending balance for the month. So I've looked at my ending checking account balance for the month of November. And if the amount is lower than my fluff, then instead of moving the whole 940, I'll move a lesser amount, right? So this month, I'm actually not lower than my fluff at all, but I want to move a nice kind of odd number, right? I would say a nice even number, but this isn't an even number. So I'm going to move $925. So that's going to be included into my December budget. All right. So I've already, so that you won't have to sit here and watch me write it all out, I have already kind of listed out my December budget. You guys, I just realized my pages were swapped. Oh goodness, doesn't that look odd? Okay, let's fix that. This is supposed to be right here. All right, now we go 1, 2, 3, 4, and so forth. Okay. And this page goes right here. Good Lord. Okay, so I've already listed all of my bills. So what I include in this is any fixed expenses, any variable expenses, anything that is going to go from my checking account to maybe another savings account. So we have some savings accounts set up for my daughters that that I include as a bill, even though it's not technically a bill, and all that good old jazz. So I have listed everything: mortgage, electricity, any type of subscriptions that I have, my daycare bills, even my debt snowball. So at this point in time, my debt snowball is specifically to go towards my student loans. As you all may know, student loans are not due yet and won't become due for me specifically until March. So I am just kind of building that money into my savings account. So even though it will go to my savings, I'm still considering it a bill because it will be earmarked, or it is earmarked to go towards my student loan bill, right? So what I do is I will add all of this up. I've already added it up for the sake of time. And if I can find my notes, I can tell you how much it is. Let's see. Okay, so all of this is the amount of $27.40. So I'm gonna put that right here, just in case something happens and I remember that I need to add something. Let me think. Actually, as we are talking, I'm remembering that I need to include something for trash. Trash is due quarterly. So I need to include that in my budget. So I'm gonna, so even if something is in, has like cents attached to it, I only deal in whole dollars with my budget. So let's change that and add the $32. And that instead means that my total is $27.72. Okay, so I use a budgeting app called Every Dollar, and I have actually already kind of put my budget into that app and added everything up. Since I did not take into account the cash, that means I'm actually going to be moving a little bit of money around. So let me go ahead and do that, and then I will come back and we'll continue on the budget. All right, so I have made my changes and I can go ahead and continue on. So the other thing I'm going to note is that this right here is the $9.25 that I had from leftover from last month. This right here is what I'm budgeting from my paycheck. This is just the portion that I'm choosing to budget. I did get more, but this is what I'm budgeting. I have part of the additional is I have opted to donate some money to an organization that my company supports, and it can come automatically out of my check. So that's what I'm budgeting for this month. And I also like to budget a nice even or odd number. So that's where I got that number from. Okay, so now what we have is I'm going to take what I'm budgeting for the month and I'm going to subtract what my bills are. So at this point I have, let's use a little sticky note. I have this amount left over. Okay, so $34.18. All right, so the next order of business is I am going to list out my debit envelopes. So my debit envelopes are pretty much, I think of it like cash envelopes, except in debit form. I know that cash is a little bit better because you have more of an emotional connection when you have to spend your cash. But I don't know if it's the like accounting side of me, but I have a little bit, okay, we're okay. Sorry guys, I'm trying to multitask, and as you can tell, it's kind of failing a little bit. But anywho, so I have an emotional connection when I have to use my calculator to add money and subtract money and see how much I have left over. So I don't think that using a debit envelope format is, you know, any worse than using a cash envelope format for me. I'm not going to say that that can work for everybody. So I'm going to go ahead and list my categories. I have generally 7 categories each month, and I have decided this month to add in another category. So let me pull out my previous month's page, and I'm going to just copy from there. So all right, so we have groceries, and I believe that's pretty self-explanatory. We have restaurants. Again, self-explanatory, but you know, that includes fast food and sit-down restaurants. We have fuel, which is, you know, just gas for my car. Toiletries, So any type of, you know, soap, lotion, that type of stuff. Beauty. So if I go get a pedicure, manicure, maybe buy makeup, all of these 3 things I have not done in a long time. But it's just great to know that I have that category in case I decide to do so. I have baby stuff. So pull-ups, wipes, diapers, household. So, you know, laundry detergent, paper products, things like that. And then I am adding this month entertainment. So my child is turning 6 months tomorrow, and she actually had not taken a bottle or a pacifier, and she recently just started. So that's giving us a little bit more freedom to be able to leave the house and go enjoy some mommy daddy time. So, you know, the last month we've been able to catch a couple movies, which is really great because that's one thing that we enjoyed doing pre-kids. So it's definitely good to be able to enjoy that again. And I did not have anything in my budget for that. So I thought that it would be nice to go ahead and add something in, because I actually just took it out of one of my sinking funds, which I entitled Mad Money, which is money, my spending money pretty much. But I think it's good to go ahead and add that if there's a possibility that that can start to be something that we do on a regular. So I have already put, I can't remember if I said this or not. So I've already put my numbers in my Every Dollar budget app. So I'm going to be referring to that as I fill this part in. So for groceries, I have $6.25. For restaurants, I have $300, and that's a little bit more than last month because we'll be going out of town. So we're probably going to want to go to a sit-down restaurant or two while we're out of town. Fuel, I have $2.50. Again, going out of town, so we're adding a little bit more. I generally am a work from home type of person right now because of the pandemic. So I don't really spend that much money on gas. All right, so toiletries, 100. Just a standard amount I've been putting. Beauty, 100. Baby stuff, I believe I kept the same. Yes, so $2.50. Household, let me refer to my screen of my budget. So $150. And then entertainment, I put, I believe, $100. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and add all of that up. So $6.25, $300, $2.50, $100, $100, $2.50, $150, and $100. So it's $18.75. All right, and the accountant in me wants to add this up again just to double check. All right, so $18.75. So I'm going to take that and subtract $18.75 from the $3,418 that we had before. And that leaves me with $15.43. So it means that I will be putting $15.43 into my sinking funds. So let's go ahead and pull out my sinking funds page. Okay, so this is last month's sinking fund page, and this is this month's sinking fund page, and none of my sinking funds are changing. So I'm going to go ahead and just copy everything. So now that I've gone ahead and filled out my first column, which is basically my leftover sinking funds from November of 2021. Since these funds build on itself, I need to make sure that I know my leftover balance. And so what I'm going to do is write in the amounts that I have allocated for each of these funds. So for car maintenance, and I'm looking at my my laptop so I can look at my Every Dollar. So I actually use my phone to record. So I can't look at my Every Dollar app like I normally would. So I'm looking at it online. So I'm going to add $50. Okay, and that's going to make my total amount $325. For my house maintenance, I am going to add $75, which is going to make my total amount $604. And I'm probably going to even that out to maybe, I'll even it out next month. So HOA, I'm going to add $5. So that will be the total portion that I'm responsible to pay for HOA for the year of 2021. That is due the 1st of January. So that will complete that. I've actually been putting $20 a month to the side, but I only need $225. So I'm just putting $5 in this month. So for travel, I don't know why I said trash. For travel, I'm going to put $275. And this will cover any type of traveling that my family does, but my ultimate goal was for us to take a trip to Disney. So I'm just building kind of slowly. It will be a couple of years before we go to Disney because I want my kids to be at a pretty good age. Right now they are 6 months and 2, almost 3. So I think I want my oldest to be around maybe 5 or so. So I'm just kind of slowly building that fund. So for kids' clothes, I'm going to put $210 there. And that will bring it to That will bring it to $915. I have a my oldest one is just growing so quickly. Okay, so 75, which is my standard amount for myself each month. And I don't normally spend money out of that account, so I've so far saved $705. Mad Money, which is I spend this money on anything I want to or may need to. So I have a total of $845, and this is really with me. Sorry. This is really. All right, let's try this again. So this is really with me just putting a couple $100s to the side every month and spending less than the couple hundred that I put to the side. And I have $845 left over. So miscellaneous, I'm going to put 20 in there because I do like to have an amount of 125, and I've had to spend some money out of it. So I'm just going to put it back to the 125. Medical, I'm going to put 251. So I had to get some glasses last month, and listen, the exam for contacts and glasses plus getting glasses was pretty expensive, and that's without me even getting new contacts. So I'm just trying to fluff that account back up. Plus we think that my oldest needs to get her eyes checked. So I'm going to fluff this account up for that as well. So that leaves me with $642. For gifts, of course, I've been spending money like crazy the last few months for gifts. We have Christmas that is coming up. We have my daughter, my oldest, will be turning 3 2 days after Christmas. And my husband's birthday was in October, the very end of October, and I bought his gift in November. So this account has been taking a pretty big hit lately. So I'm putting a chunk back in, and with me doing that, I'm hoping maybe I'll have like at least $1,000 left over, and then I'll be able to put maybe like $100 or $75 per month in the account for next year, so I won't have to stuff it so aggressively. So for family photos, I'm just every so often putting $20 in here and there. I didn't put $20 in last month, but I'm going to put that in this month, and that's just for when we take pictures. We took family pictures recently, so I think it'll be a few months, at least not until the spring, that we take more family pictures. So it's just nice to have that money already set aside when it is time for pictures. So I'm going to add up everything that I am putting in to my sinking funds, and it is coming up to $15.43. And if we refer back to our little sticky note, that's exactly the amount of money that I had left over to budget. So that is great. Let's go ahead and add up the amount for my new balance in my sinking fund accounts. Let's see, 845 plus 125, 642, 1215, 160. All right, so that's $8,406. All right, so that is the amount that I have in my sinking funds after adding more money in for the month of December. And so what I like to do, because I actually do refer to some of these accounts quite often, and the accounts that I generally refer to are kids clothes, Mad Money. Let's see, this month it's been gifts, and it probably will continue to be gifts. And let's see if there's anything else. Maybe miscellaneous, and I'll be referring to medical. So I will be taking money out of these sinking funds. So I like to monitor the amount of money that I am taking out of my sinking funds each week. So what I will do is on the Monday of every week, I will go ahead and write down my balance. So this, I just made this as a one pager, right? I probably could make a second page and blank these out, and I may do that eventually, but I actually came up with the idea of monitoring my sinking funds weekly, kind of after the fact. And I didn't feel like going back in and editing my PDF. So what I do is I will white out the top here. And forgive me because I'm doing this one-handed. I'm nursing my child and doing this. Okay. So I'm a little bit at a disadvantage. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at my calendar, and let's see, to move my laptop now that I have my amounts, I can put that to the side. And I'm going to take my page and pop it back in here. Okay. And so what I do, like I said, is I check back in basically every Monday. So I'm going to check in on Monday the 6th, the 13th, the 20th, and the 27th. So I'm going to write December 6th balance. All right, and I'm gonna continue that on. Okay, and then what will happen is after the 27th, when I get paid again on the 30th or 31st, I don't remember, I don't know which day it's going to be. I put 30th because that is technically New Year's Eve. I'm going to go and put my month end balance right here. Okay, so off camera, I'll go ahead and fill this out. Guess I can at least put the month. All right, and so I'm going to pop my pages back in. So let's go back to November. And I'm going to put this page back in. And this is my November sinking funds page. And so this is kind of an example of what I do. Now listen, this was so close to my payday, which the 29th was yesterday. Today was the 30th when I got paid. So I didn't really bother to do the balance. I got a little lazy because technically I didn't spend any money, you know, between yesterday and today that needs to go into, you know, that needs to be taken into account. So I put the total, which is basically this right here. Okay, so all of that is done. I've popped my page back in for this. I have my bills. I have my debit envelope. I'm gonna go ahead, and I don't normally, listen, printing went wrong this month. So normally the back of this is blank like it is for November, and I just use it as scratch paper. And I could have reprinted this page so that it could be blank, but I'm trying to save the trees. So I just left it as is. And I guess if I have to do any notes, I'll just X this out and put it right here. Okay, and then I have my sinking funds pages that I actually do keep separately. So I'm gonna pop these in. So what will happen is off camera, for everything that I said that I was going to add, I'm going to put it in there. So for instance, for car maintenance, I'm going to say November 30th, $50, and put that balance there. House maintenance, November 30th, $75, and put the balance there. So I'm going to do that throughout all of these sheets. For each of these funds, it is noted on these sheets. Okay, and these are just pages that I quickly made. And then I also have some debt payoff trackers that I move from month to month as well. And these are all just student loans. So there has been no activity on it because I'm kind of at a standstill for that right now. Let's see if there's anything else that I want to or feel like I need to include. Let's see. No, I believe that is it. I think that that is my budget in a nutshell. All right, you guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Please go ahead and subscribe if you would like to see more videos like this. Please bear with me. This is my first time doing a budgeting video with numbers and trying to explain things to you all. Hopefully, as I continue to release more videos like this, it will get better and better. Please go ahead and leave any questions that you have in the comments below, and I'll be sure to respond, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye.